Hey y'all, I'm Shayna and I'm back with another review. This is for LAMH Huntsville Season 4/5 Reunion Part 3. Y'all, we got an appearance from the Whitlows. Like, I didn't even think they were in attendance. So, you're definitely going to want to watch till the end to find out what went on. I have a lot of notes. I think the episode was pretty interesting. So, let's go ahead and jump into it. Before we do, y'all already know I'm trying to grow my channel. I'm almost at 400 subscribers. So, help your girl out by hitting that subscribe button and checking out all of my content. Thumbsing up the video to help push it through this YouTube algorithm. And thanks for your support. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and start off. We pick up where we left off last week with Marcel saying, telling Destiny, like, not too much on Kimmy, like, not too much. It should be Kimmy, not too much on Destiny. Destiny, and Kimmy was kind of doing the most. Like, Destiny was just sharing how she felt last week with the producers not airing her footage. Kimmy was just kind of doing the most. Like, I feel like she was just trying to pick a fight. So Carlos asks Destiny why her man isn't by her side at the reunion. Like, is he going to be on the next season? Destiny said, due to unforeseen circumstances, he couldn't make it. Girl, then you could have just sent that in an email and stay home. If she's on the next season, she said he'll be on the show. And they're still in a long-distance relationship. But she was like, yes, to be in an open book as much as possible. Girl, goodbye. Get rid of her. So we move on and we get into the demise of Destiny and Melody's friendship. I'll tell you, Stormy and Destiny got more airtime than the Whitlows did. Okay, back to it. So I really want to know why Melody and Stormy fell out, but they filming, so that's probably why. Anywho, Melody says Destiny did an interview and she didn't like what Destiny had to say. She's listening to everybody's interviews, even though she claims to not care about these folks. And she got an issue with what everybody said in these interviews. Like, girl, the reason changes every time. Because last time, it was because they said you was a Scorpio. But alright, go on. Destiny feels like it started with the last reunion when Melody got upset because Destiny and Tisha were discussing her, saying she's a Scorpio and whatnot. And Melody, in my opinion, just doesn't like the fact that Destiny kind of plays both sides, I'm guessing, to her, because you're friends with me, but then you're talking to Tisha. Me and Tisha don't really get along, even though Destiny claims she didn't know that her and Tisha wasn't getting along. Then you're sitting up there talking to Martell. That's my ex-husband, but then you chatting with me. Like, yeah, like pick a side. And for me, I feel like people can be capable of being friends with both parties. Like, you can be friends with Tisha and be friends with Melody and not be like telling Melody's business. But I can see Melody's point of view. I can see Melody's perspective where she feels like, well, if you telling me, you know what they got going on. Like she was saying, okay, you telling me what Martell's saying about me. How I know you ain't telling Martell what I'm saying about him. Especially when they constantly in the courthouse. So, I mean, there's that. But Melody could have just came clean and said that a long, long time ago. Destiny told Melody she's not about to play in her face. And Mel was like, nobody ever talks about you, sweetie. Okay. Took a page out of Destiny's book. Destiny was looking like, girl, what? Yeah, sweetie. Tisha inserts herself unnecessarily and insinuates that Melody needed a storyline. All of y'all need a storyline. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it all the way 100. Every last one of y'all need a storyline. So, Tisha said at the last reunion, Mel looked sad. Like, she needed a friend. Like, she looked really down and out with that whole Martell situation. Mel, don't want to hear it. And Tisha said, even though Melody has a dark soul, at one point I cared about her. What a way to definitely put the last nail in the coffin on that friendship. Tisha calls Melody the devil in sheep's clothing. Woof. It's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Okay. So Carlos was like, damn, Tisha. Yeah, girl. Was it all? Well, I mean, Melody said that she was her enemy. So I was like, where'd that come from? So I guess, ain't no limits now. I mean, we can go as low as you want to go. Okay. Mel said, well, then you should be grateful. Be grateful I'm not in your life then. Since, I'm such a dark cloud or whatever. I got a dark soul and dark spirit. Be glad I'm no longer in your life. You don't got to worry about me. Don't got to talk about me. Don't got to kick it with me. Don't got to nothing with me. Don't got to skate with me. Don't got to nothing. But here goes Tisha talking about, now keep my name out your mouth. Both of y'all had each other's names in y'all mouths. And that's why all y'all need new storylines. But, I mean, to Melody's offense, and I ain't really on team nobody, truth be told, but Tisha do be keeping Melody's name in her mouth. So Destiny said, there are, because Carlos asked Destiny, and Destiny responded that there are things that Melody does that are dark. And he like what? And she's like, such as saying on, the Carlos After Dark or the after party, whatever, the after show, on his show that come on at night, that she gave her $6,000 for a light bill. And Melody was like, I didn't say it was a light bill. You said it was a utility bill. Does it matter? Light, water, gas? Does it really matter? You said you gave her money for a bill. You hung up on technicalities, but the point is you told everybody that you gave her money because she couldn't pay her bills. Whew. But okay. Close enough, Melody. The nerve. They start arguing about a potential business transaction that was supposed to take place with Destiny that Destiny mentioned before, that Melody pretty much badmouthed her and got in the way of that business opportunity. And she's still holding on to it, clearly. And Carlos asks Mel, she feels like Destiny and Martell are a little too chummy, a little too close. I could see why she would, because, girl, where was you before? And that's what Melody had to say. She said her and Martell were married 13, 14 years. She ain't never known him to be super close to Destiny. She didn't even know about Destiny for a while. So that is a little questionable, if I must say so myself. Melody said Destiny called Martell the other week at 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. And Destiny said, oh, when you hacked into his phone? Ooh, Melody was stumped on that one. She got her with that one because Melody ain't had nothing to say. So then Destiny said it again, hello, when you hacked into his phone? I said, oh, Lord. Melody eventually denies this and said Martell tried to hack her phone. Nah, it was the other way around. You got it twisted. Martell denied it, of course, so we'll never know the truth, and said that when, he didn't answer a phone call, it would go to Melody's line, and they would get her voicemail or whatever, and that's how everybody knew that she hacked into his phone. If you're going to hack into his home, be a little more discreet about it. Make sure to pick up and hang up or something. I didn't even know you could do all that. I don't be doing all that. I told y'all in some other review, I don't go through phones, I don't hack, I don't do none of that. If something going to come out, it's going to come out. And y'all divorced, so why? Melody said someone must have hacked it backwards. Girl, stop. Not hacked it backwards. Girl, I guess she ain't had time to think about and no answers to this one. Martell said, you are pathetic. And those type of comments are why you can't get your family back, sir. So Melody said, no, you're pathetic. You and your ugly little shoes. First of all, I didn't think his shoes were ugly. I didn't. But when the camera zoomed in, I hollered. We did not have to. Who is behind the camera? I don't know. I feel like they probably both was hacking into each other's phones at one point. I don't put it past neither one of them because you know why? Because they ain't over each other. That's why. So Carlos asks Destiny if she wants to reconcile her friendship with Melody. Of course, she says no, but deep down in her heart, she means yes. And we all know it. We know Martell's still in love with Melody. We know Destiny still want to be friends with her. Everybody love to hate her. They love her and hate her. It's a love-hate thing going on. So Destiny said she's known Martell since she was 15 years old. She moved out of Huntsville. But when she started dating her ex-husband, they got back in contact. And so that's how they started communicating again. But we know, I feel like most of us feel that her loyalty lied with Melody. I feel like the friendship, that's why I think that, Melody, even though, yes, it's concerning, are you telling him my business? I can't trust nobody at this point. I get that. But I feel like her loyalty really lied with Melody. So that's why I think she was telling her what Martell was saying, trying to look out for her because she felt like she was her closer friend. I don't think she was doing it vice versa, but, But then Destiny says, you say, I'm too chummy with Martell, and both of our exes was basically dogs, or whatever way she phrased it. And then she said, but if I cut him off for doing what he did, I had to cut you off for the same thing. Say Melody was cheating without saying Melody was cheating, allegedly. So, of course, Martell didn't want to let that go. He kept saying, but why? What did she do? But what? Girl, they talked right over him. But you know, he was trying to squeeze it out of her. But, I mean, girl, tell us what you know. Y'all ain't friends now. But in real life, no. If y'all was friends at one point, whatever secrets you told me, your secret is safe with me. Like, I ain't telling. If we fall out, I ain't telling. We was friends at one point. You know, I enjoyed the time that you was in my life, and we just moving on. But on the show, since you ain't telling nothing else, tell us. Give us something. Something. Anything. Something. Okay. So, Mel mentioned Destiny said, you know, all Martell did was basically bash her. So it's like, so why are you even talking to him then? And, you know, I already said that, but Carlos asked Stormy, like, you know what do you think? And she's like, look, my name Ben and I ain't in it, pretty much. And we gonna give you the short version of it. She's staying out of it. Mel and Martell, you know, have a little lover spat and start arguing about forgiveness. Mel says, you know, why are you friends with folks that talk about you not having a builder's license and call you a liar? And he like, oh, because I like to have forgiveness. I need people to forgive me. And she was like, you just want to have this moment to be like, look, I'm friends with everybody and you friends with nobody. So just like throwing in her face pretty much. Make it look like he the good guy. Martell claims Melody doesn't know how to forgive people. And if she forgives you, watch out because she wants something from you. Martell, she forgave you for like 8 years of cheating, or 5 to 8 years of cheating, and a couple of abortions, and then a baby. So, can we not? Can we not do that? She forgave you for a long, long, long time before she finally left you. You just mad because she didn't forgive you eventually. Oh my goodness gracious. So, I mean, you had a baby on her, years of cheating, let's not. Mel said, you know what, because she said, God is my source. I don't need nobody for nothing. God is my source. It has been my source ever since I left your dusty ass. Oop, not dusty. There's so much passion between them, though. Like, the feelings, it's going to take a little bit more healing and a little bit more time before they really move on. Sheree, take note. Carlos asked Mel and Martell about their challenges with co-parenting. Martell said he doesn't want a man watching his children. Carlos said even if the man is their uncle. Martell said no because she didn't meet her brother until she was 16. Well, what? That wasn't yesterday or last year. Well, it's been like, 20 years? Like, okay, that's enough time to know if she can trust her brother or not. So Carlos said so it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that he's gay. Martell was fumbling a little bit, but finally he said no. Me personally, I think that has everything to do with it, but that's just my opinion. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Melody said co-parenting is difficult because of the person she has to co-parent with. She said her children, like he's always talking about, oh, you got 20 people babysitting the kids, 20 people watching the kids or whatever. In all actuality, the only people her kids have spent the night with is her mom, her aunt, and her brother one time with her brother, and it was at her house. And Martell was like, oh, but I was home. I was home that day. Like, and you didn't even call him. She don't got to call you. She don't got to call you when it's her time. If she gets a family member to babysit, that's within her right to do so. It's not your week. So, he's talking about filing for full custody and saying that she don't have time for the kids and this and that. He just want to spite her. And them kids is young, too. They be trying to act like, oh, they so mature. They are young children, and they have a long way to go. They got 4 of them. 4. Y'all got a long way to go, honey. So, we get to the Destin trip, and Martell is missing his family. And we saw a little scene, even with, with Melody dipping it low and picking it up slow and dancing with him. And that little clip shows, like, what coulda, shoulda, woulda been, but it ain't. Martell's choking back tears and refusing the tissue that Tisha is like adamantly trying to give him. It's like Marcel is pushing her to get the tissue. Then she pushing Martell to take the tissue. And Martell like, I don't want that thing. Like, get it out my face. Goodness, I ain't crying. So Carlos said, F it. You ain't gonna cry. I'm gonna cry for you. I'm gonna cry on your behalf. You take it. You can't muster up the tears, so I'm gonna get them going for you. Okay. Carlos goes into, he starts, shedding a tear too, and says Martell is still in love with Melody, something we all know. And then he said he's afraid of being vulnerable and admitting to the fact that Lord, I'm tongue-tied, admitting to the fact that he misses Melody and his family. He just admitted that he misses Mel and his family. So not really. I mean, we already knew that. He admitted it, but when Melody doesn't reciprocate the fact that she misses her family too, then he retreats. That's when he retreats back to like, okay, we don't want each other. We just co-parenting. He said on multiple occasions that he misses his family. When we don't get nothing in return, then he starts saying anything out the mouth. But I mean, he ain't the only one who let pride and stubbornness and ego get in his way. That probably played a big part. Honestly, I think she would have forgave him, baby and all, if he wasn't so awful on TV. Martell did fess up to regretting what he did. I bet you did. Still never got that builder's license. Carlos asked Melody why she's so emotional. And she said, there's children involved and, a lot of time spent. The whole entire situation is just messed up. It is still fairly fresh. It hasn't even been 2 years yet. So it's still a fairly fresh situation. And if you think about the amount of time they were together versus the short period of time they've been separated. Like, I know some people just move on with ease, but clearly both people really didn't want this divorce. And I'm just wondering what Coleslaw was thinking. This is embarrassing. But Mel said she would have never pictured herself having children with a man she doesn't even like. I believe she, still loves him, like has love for him, but she definitely don't like him as a person. She don't. And if she's like had the feelings come up, I think she like has to mentally check herself and remind herself, like, girl, he had a whole baby on you. Snap back. Like, this ain't it. No. Carlos low-key tries to place blame on Melody after saying Coleslaw was better than her last reunion. Or something like that, whatever he said. He said something along them lines. Now he's saying that women go up in their careers and they get so focused on their career and they're not taking care of their man, this and that. Melody immediately shuts it down. Like, while yes, that may be true in some situations and circumstances, that's not true over here. It's BS. He cheated because he's a cheater that enjoys cheating. He cheated because that's just what he liked to do. That's just who he is. Okay? That's just how he is. Carlos asked Melody if she could have done anything differently, would she have? And she said, she would have listened a little more. Like, yeah, she listened, but she would have listened a little bit more. But at the end of the day, it didn't matter what she did. Nothing was good enough. He was going to cheat because this is what he wanted to do. What's done is done. He got the mistress pregnant multiple times, ended up having a child. Like, we just, as much as it might look nice and everything, we just got to cut ties. They couldn't even be good. They couldn't even make it through the whole summer before they was back in court again. So, it's toxic. It's time to let it go. Because, really, I think if Martell was, like, groveling and begging, like, eventually she probably would have gave, but he can't even do it long enough to win her back. So, it's like, let's just not even. The Whitlows make an appearance, and we forgot about them. Hey, Whitlows. They go over the grievances with Dr. Francis. Y'all gonna leave Dr. Francis alone. I'd rather have Dr. Francis stay and the Whitlows go, if you want my opinion. I know nobody asked, but I'm gonna give it to you. So, Big Lou seemed like he got a little dislike, a disdain from Marcel. Every time Marcel said something, he seemed like he don't really see it for him. That's just what it seemed like to me. So Big Lou said, he wasn't sexually frustrated all that long. It was just a few weeks. It might have been portrayed as like longer on the show, as like months on end, but in real life, it really was like a week or so. Somebody lying. Somebody telling tall tales. Anyway, then he ain't frustrated no more because Tiffany is pregnant with a baby. There's a baby boy named Ace, which means unity because they have a blended family. Shout out to my Instagram page, Black Blended Families _. Check it out if y'all have a moment. I'm all for the Black Blended family and just the Black family in general, honey. So check out that page and don't hesitate to follow. So then we get to the saddest part. We knew it was going to come. I'm glad we didn't spend a lot of time on it because it's just hard to watch. Kimmy discusses her journey with cancer. Carlos said he lost his mother to cancer, which is very soft. It's very upsetting to hear. Sorry to hear that. My condolences to Carlos and his family. He said she never told anyone. She just dealt with it and suffered in silence. But she loved Love and Marriage Huntsville, and she really enjoyed that show. So, he felt her speaking to him when Kimmy was sharing her story and her testimony, because it's like it will help somebody else to not suffer. And Kimmy discusses getting checked and getting mammograms and things like that. It is expensive if you don't have insurance. It should be free. They don't care. They care more about the money than they care about your life. So I just wish they would have brought Jalen out. I want to hear his perspective. Like we didn't give Jalen enough time, unless he just didn't want to be filmed. But I would have liked to hear what he had to say. Like especially because he mentioned that he felt excluded a lot of the times in Kimmy's journey, and that is, you know, her only biological child. So I just wanted to hear what he had to say, and with Maurice Jr., how it affects him because he lives with them, and that's his mother figure that's in the household at the moment. Even though his mother's in his life, you know. Kimmy is a part of his life too. So, but maybe we'll find out what the children think on the next season, which seems like it'll be around sooner than later. Woo. Let me know what y'all thinking down in the comments. Be sure to like, comment, share the video, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.